I finished Binding 13, maybe 11 more pages. Which of these two? I hate how dark it gets. I'm struggling. There's a part of me that wants to DNF it. In this vlog, we're gonna be going together and reading my first few reads of this year. I am in the middle of 2 books. One, I'm listening to The Grace Year. That's the first one I started this year. It's like a dystopian, the year that a girl turns 16, she has to go on her grace year, basically like punishment for the sins of Eve, and all women have to go through this and not all of them survive. I found the concept really interesting. I'm about 80% through the book. I'm pretty close to being done, and it's not, I don't like it as much as I don't know why the focus is going in and out. I don't like it as much as I thought I maybe would, but that's okay. The other book I'm reading is Binding 13, which is the first book in the Boys of Tommen series. This is one that I had been wanting to read, and it's on Kindle Unlimited, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get it. I also thought that maybe I wouldn't like this book because I'd heard that it's kind of more Wattpad-y writing, which is not particularly my taste, but I genuinely, anytime that I'm not reading this book, I'm like always thinking about it, and that's a really good sign. I'm 88% through, and I think that I might be able to finish tonight, but I'll finish today or tomorrow. So anyway, I thought it'd be fun to just make a little vlog, basically mood read with me through the first little bit of the year. I will talk to you guys again whenever I have any updates. So yesterday I finished Binding 13 and I immediately wanted to go into book 2. Like I don't know what it is. I love these books, and I wasn't expecting to because it's very like, I feel like I already said this, but like it's very Wattpad writing, and there are things about it that I didn't love. Like there's a strong language like throughout the entire thing, and then there's also a lot of like humor that, you know, maybe kids shouldn't read. I think it is YA technically, but anyway, regardless, loved it, and I think I gave it 4.25 stars. Also, this year I am posting individual reviews of every single book that I read on my TikTok account. So if you're wanting the breakdowns of my like actual reviews, those are all gonna be posted on my TikTok. Anyway, also posted on my TikTok, let me show you real quick. I'm also at work right now and I need to go in and start working, but before I do that, let me show you guys. I made a TikTok and I am having my TikTok followers choose which of these 2 books I read next. These are both on my January TBR. So on my lunch break, I will check my TikTok and see if anybody commented, and then also I will post my review for Binding 13. It's time for me to go into work. It's very bright right now, so I'll see you guys on my lunch break. All right, I'm back. I'm on my lunch break and I'm trying to get a lot of things done in this lunch break, so let's see. First thing I had to do is check to see if we got any comments or anything on the TikTok video. Whoa. It does not look like we got any comments, so I think I'm gonna try and repost it. Let's see. Give me a sec. On my lunch break earlier, I didn't eat because I was too busy with making TikToks, and also because I didn't want the food that I brought. I brought this like salmon bowl. It's a honey sesame salmon rice bowl, and I just was not in the mood for salmon. However, now that I've gone my whole work day, I'm so tired, so I went ahead and heated it up. I'm gonna eat it now before driving home because I cannot make the hour drive with no sustenance. Also, nobody has commented on my TikTok about which book I should read next, so I ended up also posting it on my Instagram story, and so far If We Were Villains is winning. I'm a little disappointed because I was really wanting to read The Naturals, but I'm also very excited for that book, so I feel like either way it'll be good. But I am going to wait until I get home to read the results and decide what I'm going to do from there, but it's probably going to be If We Were Villains. Okay, let's see. It was actually really good. I can't believe I put off eating this. This was so good. I hate how dark it gets so fast. I've just parked and we're gonna check my TikTok one more time to see if anybody commented. And I would choose TikTok over what Instagram says, but nope, nothing there. So let's go to Instagram. It's only been up for 5 hours, but If We Were Villains has won. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna be reading. I might start reading tonight. I might not. I'm incredibly tired. I won't be going to work tomorrow, but I have something I need to go to, and I don't know how much I'm gonna be filming tomorrow. Probably not a lot, but we shall see. The last time I talked to you was the day before yesterday. Yeah, when I got home, I was so exhausted that I pretty much went to bed right away. I like, what? I don't know, 6:30, 7:30 maybe. And then I woke up at 1:30 in the morning and I read 11 pages of my book. And then yesterday, I believe I read a little bit more. I think maybe 11 more pages. So we're not very far in, but I will say that some people had told me that this book would be difficult to read if you don't know a lot about Shakespeare. And I agree with them. This book is hard to read, in my opinion, but also I just went from reading like a lot easier of books to read. I am really liking it though. So we'll see what ends up happening with my rating. But yeah, we're like only that far in. I think I might read a little bit on my lunch break. I'm on my lunch break right now, but I'm also planning to take a shorter lunch break because it snowed this week and I live in Virginia, and whenever it snows, like everything shuts down because nobody knows how to deal with the snow. So I've missed a lot of work, and then I was sick the previous week, so I want to take a shorter lunch break so I can make up a little bit of time that I've missed. But anyway, I'm gonna eat my food, I'm gonna read a little bit, and then I'll talk to you guys when I have updates on this book, whenever I've gotten further into the book, depending on whenever that is. Hi guys. I've had kind of a rough day. Pretty emotional and mentally draining, which has been a lot of my week, but I have been ignoring all of my feelings. Crazy. But anyway, with that being said, I was reading If We Were Villains while I was on my lunch break, and I was really enjoying it. However, it is about theater, and it is about like that life, like a life of an actor, and it's been a little difficult for me to read because when I was younger, like probably like, you know, high school age, maybe like a little bit of junior high school, my entire life was theater, and it's genuinely like what I cared about most in the world, and my year would like revolve around my drama schedule basically. So this book is a little bit triggering, not in like a bad way, but like it's making me feel sad that I'm not in that stage of life anymore. And like, yeah, I could do theater again if I want to, but all that being said, I'm switching books. I'm going to be reading Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez because last year I read Just for the Summer, and this is the first book in that like interconnected standalone series, and I want to read those ones. I want to read Part of Your World and Yours Truly because I've read the third one and loved it. So I am gonna start it on my Kindle because I have it physically, it's over there, but I kind of want to read on my Kindle. Anyway, that's all. That's the update. I will still finish If We Were Villains in this video, so I'm gonna sit and read and see how much I get through, mostly just to try to have some calm, just chill. Like I feel like a romance that I already know that I'm probably gonna like based on the author is just a good idea right now. So yeah, that's all. Guys, at first I wasn't sure if I was enjoying it, but I am. The story is obviously from the cover, you can see that this is about a country boy and a city girl. As I was starting to read it, I wasn't sure when I thought about it because it starts out with a one-night stand between them. I was just not like, I don't know, but it's not shown on page. That's the thing. It's like all closed door, which I love. But also them hanging out together was like not shown on the page. So I was like, I don't really know how I'm supposed to root for them because they're just like relaying it to their friends after the fact. So I wasn't sure, but now I'm really getting into it. I love their conversations. I love the main character guy, Daniel. And also, I read Just for the Summer before I read this one. And if you guys have read this interconnected standalone, I now understand why people say to read this one first. And I honestly, I kind of wish I had. However, if this was my first book of this author, I don't know that I would have continued it, because as I was starting it, I didn't love the beginning of it. So anyway, those are my thoughts so far. I'm a little past 25%, like 26% into the book now. I am loving it. I think that their conversations, their banter is good. I like reading about her story, and I like reading about his story, which is how I felt about Just for the Summer as well. I just finished Part of Your World, so I wanted to talk to you guys about it while I'm unloading my dishwasher. I'm having a hard time deciding how I would like to rate this book. There are several things that I really did not like about the book. Let me get this glare. There are several things that I didn't like, which, you know, I feel like, I mean, this is only my second Abby Jimenez book, but I feel like the male main characters are amazing. Phenomenal. And honestly, the worst thing about him is what he will accept, how he will be treated. Because the women in these books, I feel like they're just, I understand where they're coming from. They're going through something, and I understood totally what the main character in this book, I think her name is Alexis, I don't know. I'm really bad with names, especially character names. But Alexis just broke this man's heart, and like, I just feel like it's hard to forgive her for that. But it's like, I get it. I think for the most part, like, I don't know, it was a good book. I definitely cried, but I also don't like that it kind of was an insta-love book, and their whole relationship was just based on hooking up. I will say that it was very low spice. In fact, I skipped a scene, but I honestly don't know. I don't think it didn't get that crazy, so I will say that about it. But yeah, I'm still sitting on my rating. Maybe I'll decide and I'll go through all the ratings at the end of the video. But one thing I will say, the calm in the rom-com part of this book was good. Like, I laughed out loud multiple times. I teared up about the romance, specifically from Daniel's side. I love romance books, because I just love love, and I love seeing how it ends. And okay, the epilogue got me. Like, I really loved it. So I'm gonna sit on it, and I'll let you guys know at the end. I will actually finish If We Were Villains next, so stay tuned. It's been a few days since I last updated you guys, and I'm now currently only 28% through If We Were Villains. There's a part of me that wants to DNF this. It would be a soft DNF. I'd still want to read it. It's just, I'm having a hard time with this book. It has gotten to the point where maybe it's a little more interesting. I've gotten to like past the 100-page mark, and it is a little more interesting, but it's not holding my attention. I'm also definitely really struggling with like the winter blues. I need to call my therapist. Most things are hard for me to even get through. It's not that I feel like I'm in a reading slump, because I still feel I really want to read. It's just when I sit down to read, I'm struggling. So it could be the book, but yeah, we'll see. I'll let you guys know what I decide to do, because I'm struggling. Sorry about the blinking lights and like the weird shadows on my face. I'm actually stopped at like a train crossing right now, and I'm stuck here. It's actually been quite a few days since the last time I updated you. It has been a struggle to get through If We Were Villains. Last night I was getting really into it because I was nearing the end of the story, and yeah, I'm like almost done now. I think I have like a little bit of the last chapter, but they're called scenes in this book. The road is clear now, so let me update you back when I get home. Whoa, my hair is looking crazy. I had it up in a bun all day, and this is what we've got. All right, I was very hurried when I was talking to you guys a second ago, but since we talked, I've gotten home, I've made dinner, I've gotten ready for bed. I kind of fell asleep for like half a second, maybe a little more than half a second. Also, me and my husband are in the middle of watching
90 Day Fiance, and the season that we're on, literally every couple is such a train wreck and none of them should stay together. So I'm almost done. Truly, I'm having such a hard time knowing when I'm gonna rate this. I mean, I'm gonna wait until after I finish it, of course, but the entire book, I have struggled a lot to understand and even stay interested in the story. I don't know if I updated you guys or not on this, but around the 40% mark, it starts getting more interesting because something really big happens. And then on from there is like the rest of the plot. It's very much like a mystery plot, I feel like. Really close to the end now. So I didn't guess everything that was gonna happen, but I like had several theories, and one of my theories ended up being the big like plot twist. But the very ending, I didn't see coming. I did not see that coming. Well. Okay guys, it is time for a full recap on all of the books that I finished in this video, or DNF'd, because I did have one DNF. I don't know if I talked about it at all, but the first book was Binding 13, and all the books I read so far, it was my favorite still, and I'm really excited to get into the second one. But I ended up really loving the characters, and so I am very excited to continue the series. That one I read on my Kindle. The next book that I finished was The Grace Year. This one I just was not a big fan of, didn't love. It was kind of like Pick Me Girl vibes. I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend it, but that one I also listened to on audiobook, and I think maybe it would have been slightly better if I'd physically read it. Then we had Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. This is the one that I really couldn't figure out my rating. Like I liked it, but also I didn't love the insta-lovey, like their relationship started off with a one-night stand. It was just not my favorite. You know, there was times through the book when I was like, just let it go, guys. Like you just let it go. But I am happy with how it ended. So then I finished If We Were Villains. You guys saw my reaction as I was reading it. I feel like from a literary standpoint, this book was fascinating, but my enjoyment level of it was a little bit lower, just because there were certain parts in the book where I would be reading it and I didn't, like, I thought I missed something. Like I thought I wasn't reading it properly, so I would go back and I would read it, and then I would realize that no, it didn't explain how we led up to here. So anyway, yeah, this one was alright, but not my favorite. I don't think I talked at all about the final book that I read, but it was The Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. I listened to it on audiobook, and I would love to go back and reread it physically. This is a book that is it's like a fictional book, but it's written as different letters from this one demon to his nephew, who he is kind of trying to tell how to be a better demon and how to get people to leave Christianity. Very fascinating, and like a genius concept too. Like C.S. Lewis's writings are amazing. So yeah, that's when I definitely want to go back and read more in detail different chapters or different letters, and maybe also talk with other people about them, like do like a book study type of thing. I completely forgot to talk about my DNF, which I told you guys I would do. So the DNF that I had was Dolly Alderton's memoir, Everything I Know About Love. I heard that this book was like really good for any woman, younger woman, like in her 20s, you know, navigating life, whatever. But personally, my life is absolutely nothing like hers and has not really much similarity, to be honest. I did not relate to it, so I DNF'd it at 26%. Just didn't have anything really in common with her. I never really partied. I didn't really date in high school. I didn't date around. I just didn't relate to the story. I went through
some pretty rough patches throughout this video, just like mentally. And I think it has to do with the fact that it's winter and there's just not very much light. And yeah, so I ended up buying one of those like light therapy things that I will see how well that works. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for coming along with me. My next video is going to be like popular booktube books that like booktubers have convinced me to buy, and I'm really excited for it. I think I'm gonna be reading 4 books in that video. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one.